Welcome back, folks, to another episode of MLM from Ruined to Refreshed. PJ here. And in this episode we're going to be looking at this 1975 Dodge Challenger. So let's get the tools out, get it on the bench and see what we're going to do with this one. Catch you in a few. Cheers. Welcome back to the bench, folks, and here we are with our Matchbox Superfast No.1 Dodge Challenger, Lesney Products & Co Limited, 1975, made in England. I've been wanting to do this one for a while. It's been sat in the pile of little projects I've got. It's not in actually it's not in bad condition. It's more scuffed up and scruffy than anything else. So we're going to get it apart, have a look to see what we've got inside, and excuse the pun, we'll see what challenges this one brings. So I'll catch you in a few. Cheers. So here we go. We've got our slightly oversized drill bit. Let's get these posts drilled out. There we go. Much to my disappointment, we've got the clamped in axles. Not a fan at all. We'll end up having to open up this clamp and probably using a Dremel accessory. The wheels, tyres and axles are not in bad condition as such. Perhaps a bit of chroming, a bit of black rubber, XF85 on the tyres. The body, straight drop into caustic soda. The interior, again, it's not in too bad a condition, but I may strip it for the hell of stripping it and add a few highlights to the seats and steering wheel. The other interesting part on this model is this roof. So as you can see, there's some very small rivets, well, not rivets really, posts that hold the windscreen in place. So I'm going to use a hand chuck just to get these down and get the windscreen off. So let me see if I've got one to hand. Oh, there we go. Excellent. Now that I've got these off, I may just nip these back with a craft knife and then glue the roof back. So there we go. There's our Dodge taken to pieces. Didn't take too long. I may go with a metallic red colour on this one, we'll see. The chassis, undecided. May polish it and then use some silver on the front and back and then add some highlights. We'll see. So the next job is to get this into caustic soda, these parts washed, and split these two clamps on the chassis. So I'll be back to you in the next build update. Catch you in a few. Cheers. Okay folks, welcome back to another build update, and we're looking at these clamps on this chassis holding the axles in. If there's enough space, and this is my method, I'm not advocating that you should do this on your models, it's whatever you find easiest, to be fair, but I'm just taking a very fine flathead screwdriver, getting it in between the clamp and gently easing it open. Now you've got to be careful with this, because if you go too hard, too fast, you'll break it to pieces. Finally. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grind this out a bit more so that I know that I can get these back in easily. The front one's not a problem, but this back one, that has been a pain, that one has. So I'm going to grind this out a bit more, just so that it'll receive the axle better. And then when we come to put it back in, we'll use some super glue and baking powder to seal it in place. So I'll be back in a few. Cheers. So there we go. We've, using the Dremel attachment, we've ground out the clamp, and now the axle just drops straight into place. So at least the placement of the axles will be right, and we'll just drop some super glue and baking powder over that. The front clamp we did manage to open up with a screwdriver. We may want to clamp that one back together, but if not, we'll use the same procedure using super glue and baking powder. So we can now use our Dremel or a wire brush to clean up these axles, and the tyres can then be painted and the hubs re-chromed. And we can also now get round this fairly easy to polish this up as well. So the next thing we'll be doing is we'll be in the lab and we'll be stripping the body and polishing our plastic parts. So I'll catch you in a few. Cheers. So welcome back to the lab, folks, and here we are with the body of our Dodge Challenger. Put it in the caustic soda jar, add in some boiling water, and of course we're wearing our PPE, and we'll add the magic ingredient, our caustic soda. Just take your time with this stuff. It is a bit lethal. Make sure you've got plenty of ventilation going on. No need to rush it. And then we're going to leave this for about 30 minutes, and we'll come back to it and See how well it's done. So we'll just put it to one side. And the next thing we're going to do is to clean this chrome covering off this interior. So we're going to put it in a plastic bowl, cover it with some oven cleaner, and then seal it in. It's fairly quick, this is. It doesn't take long for this this chrome to disintegrate off these plastic parts. So again, sealing it in, put it to one side. And the last thing we're going to do is to take another bowl and we're going to put in some bleach, and this is to restore the white to the roof or the canopy of our body. So plenty of bleach, some hot water, and again we're going to seal this in. And all three of these we can leave for about half an hour. The whitening should be done fairly quickly as well, as will the oven spray. You can see it starting to turn black in the other bowl up by the tap there. So there we go. So I'll catch you back at the desk. Cheers. So welcome back to the desk, and it's time to clean up our body and chassis that have just come back from our cleaning process. So using the rotary tool, let's give it a bit of a shine. So now we'll get some Autosol and with the chassis and a cleaning accessory in the Dremel, we'll give the chassis a bit of a polishing. I wanted to keep this pretty much as is, really. I like to get these steel chassis back to some kind of newish or better condition by polishing them up. There's no need to paint them. They look pretty good as a steel chassis. I quite like the effect. So yeah, let's get to polishing this chassis. So welcome back folks, and here we go with our drilling and tapping, and I'm using a taped off 1.6mm drill. And I've taped it off just to the depth of where I want to go, the depth of the post, and I'm going to be using an M2 thread, obviously for M2 bolts. And what I tend to find, in my humble opinion, is that the more you take your time with this part, the easier it makes it, and you get to preserve your drill bit and tap. If you go too fast, you could end up breaking the bits and the taps, and yeah, just the preferred method for me really. So let's get this done. Okay, so in this build update what we're going to be looking at doing is cleaning up our axles, and I've invested in a little mini Tack Life rotary tool. It was suggested to me by my mate Paul from Pimp My Diecast, and it's ideal for doing these really small little jobs, easy to handle. You could charge it with a USB cable, fairly simple, but like I say, it's ideal for doing these little jobs. So yeah, let's get these axles cleaned up. So welcome back, and in this part we're going to be looking at restoring our tyres and wheels. So I'm going to be using some Tamiya XF85. It's called Rubber Black. I really like the effect it gives, and it's something different to the black gloss. I think it's just a more realistic look really. So let's get these done. So here we are in the workshop, and it's prime time and top coating, and I'm going to be using grey primer from High Coat, and then we're going to be using Volkswagen Mars Red for the top coat. So let's get to doing some spraying. So welcome back folks to another build update, and we're going to be looking at refitting our axles. So how do we go about this? As you know, we can't really use the clamps again because we did quite a bit of grinding. What we can do is to seal them in place using some baking powder and super glue. So I'm going to balance these on top of I'm going to balance the chassis on top of a paint pot. Like so. And then I've got an open bottle of super glue, the top off. I'm going to drop some super glue around the clamp. And then it's a simple process of just adding some baking powder. Baking soda, sorry, not baking powder. Tip off the axis. And then I'm going to add a drop more super glue. And once this stuff is set, it'll go rock hard. So much so you can even file it. Now obviously it's not pretty, but then again, who's going to know? I'll just get a brush and clear off the excess, and that's what we're left with. The wheels are spinning. I'm happy with that. And we just repeat the process on the other side. And that, my friends, is all there is to it. What we'll do is we'll leave that to dry for a few moments, and then we'll catch up where we are with the rest of the parts. So I'll catch you in a few. Cheers. So welcome back, and we're at the part where we can start to reassemble our Challenger. So what have we done? Well, obviously you just watched me seal the axles back into the chassis. I have given the tyres a coat of black rubber, XF85 from Tamiya. I've re-chromed the hubs using a Molotow chrome pen, so that's good. We've given the body a couple of new coats of red. Looks very nice in its new livery. We dipped our hood, roof section, whatever you want to call it, in bleach. We left it for a good while, for probably about an hour I think it was, and what it's done is it's re-whitened the roof, the vinyl effect. So we can drop that in. The glass itself has been in Revive It. We have re-chromed part of this interior this time round. So we've done the two, I'm not sure what they are, vents. We've chromed the steering wheel and this back shelf, and I think it looked a little bit too much having it all chrome, and I think it just gives it a little bit more of a modern feel. I guess it was easy just to chrome them completely when they came off the production line. So with the chassis, we just had to give it a bit of a grind and polish it, and see how it sits back together. Obviously we tapped and threaded for the bolts, screws, call them what you want. They are little bolts, to be honest. They're little buggers as well. And there we go, she's back in. Get the thread started. It is one. And that is two. And there she is. Looking, even though I so myself, pretty dapper. I'm really pleased with this one. As far as little cars go, these little Matchbox, this could be right up there with my favourite builds. Pleased with this. So there we go. The Dodge Challenger, #1. We'll get it on the turntable. I was going to, I may or may not add some indicator lights yet. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like when we get on the turntable. So there you go, folks. She's back together. Catch you in a few. Cheers. So it's reveal time, folks, and here we go with our Matchbox #1 super fast Dodge Challenger. I've enjoyed doing this one. It's been good fun, and really pleased with how it's turned out. So as always, I'd like to thank everybody who supported the channel, and please come and join us at Midlife Models on Facebook. We've got a growing community of friends and other builders that come and give advice, and we've started to do a MLM live chat at the end of each month on a Friday night. And yeah, I'm really pleased with this one. As I said, I love the red colour. I didn't go with the metallic. The Mars red is just a gloss red, but I think it's a suitable substitute. And we'll catch you in the next one. So from PJ, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.